And we are back again. Another episode of the Uncommon Man Pod. Dave, why don't you go and introduce us, my friend?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Uncommon Man Pod. I'm your host, David. This other host, Mike. What's going on, sir?
Just enjoying another week of football and being alive, my friend. How about yourself?
Hey, same here, same here. Just enjoying football, getting into the fantasy aspect of it, man. Just before we jumped on, we was talking trades and just trying to maneuver, man, so I don't miss another week. But everybody, real quick, like, share, subscribe, follow us on our social media platforms. Also, give us a thumbs up, drop us a comment, and let's get into this. Okay, week 4. Okay, we're wrapping up the Green Bay Packers game tonight. So, we're just going to get into general news around the league. Mike, how did your week 4 go?
About the same as my entire season's gone so far. It's been doo-doo. It's been absolute doo-doo, bro. In both the leagues that I'm in, I have been getting smashed. Like, every time that I start having like a decent week, for whatever reason, the guy that I'm playing against ends up beating me. So in our league last week, I actually had the win, and I woke up the next morning and come to find out I lost by 0.04 points. I didn't think that was a possible number, dude. I was like, just give me the tie. Why are we throwing
2 yards at the end?
Not even that, dude. That would have been 0.1. So I lost. It was like 0.34 to 0.3. I was like, where the hell did that 0.04 come from? Like, did the guy spit and they counted that? Like, just the distance he hocked a loogie? Like, come on, man. Oh yeah, dude. It's been a rough season.
Yeah, well, mine's been going okay. I don't have the biggest high-profile names, so I don't have to worry about the injuries. Pretty much anybody that I have, I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong, and I'm winning, but they're not the high-profile people that's been getting hurt. Like I got Colin Murray, Derrick Henry, Mike Evans. So everybody that I have pretty much is holding up pretty dang well, And I just made a trade, and I think it's gonna serve me well next week.
So you went ahead and approved the trade?
I went ahead and approved the trade.
Gotcha.
Not the trade that me and you were talking about. Not that one. What Kyle basically tried to give me a bundle of running backs and say, hey, let me get your quarterback. No, not happening.
So what's up, you sneaky SOB? What was the other trade you had going on, or we have to wait till next week?
I picked up Austin Hooper. He was still sitting around on our trade wire. I got Will Dissly.
So you got a waiver.
Yeah, I got a waiver, and honestly, Will Dissly. I mean, that dude, he's been disappointing this season so far. So I need to go ahead and cut bait, go ahead and get him out of there. Hooper's been playing a little bit better, in my opinion. So I think I'll be able to change him out with some other people that I have, and maybe pick up some more points.
Gotcha. Well, that's a good pickup for sure. So I guess the biggest deal about it is talking about where we're at. I mean, we're at the quarter mark of the season, dude. Already with this wonderful pandemic-filled season that we've got going on right now. Obviously, 2 teams are in standby phase because one of them tested positive for the virus, and I mean the rest of them proceeded as normal.
Yeah, I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and I told him, I was like, the teams that are going to go the farthest is a team that doesn't get as many injuries. Because when you think about it, teams that we thought that was really going to come out and really do well this year just hadn't been there. Like, San Francisco is in the shitter. The Vikings is in the shitter as well. Patriots is doing about as good as they possibly can with them not having Tom Brady and then bringing in Cam Newton. And even the Chiefs, in my opinion, the Chiefs doesn't look as dynamic as they did last year. You know, so
for sure.
So in my opinion, a lot of teams that we thought that was just gonna, set the world on fire aren't doing it. But I think when it comes to deep into the playoffs, the team that has the most people healthy is going to be the team that goes the furthest, regardless of talent as well.
I know that seems a little cliche considering the fact, people kind of impress upon that every year, but at the same time, it really applies for this season because we didn't have preseason. There wasn't like a real conditioning training camp going on. It was just basically an influx of, all right, well, you got a month and a half to prepare yourself for getting into professional athlete training and go. And so because of that, we've seen a whole bunch of just brutal injuries in the first, within the first handful of weeks of training camp. Yeah. And then moving into the season's been even worse, dude. Which I think if you're good with it, we should go ahead and talk about some of those games that have occurred.
All right, let's go. Bring them on up.
So we've had, obviously we started this week off with the Broncos and the Jets. We could go off on this we could go off about this all day. The Broncos are injury-riddled, man, and the Jets are garbage.
Yeah. Hey, this was the toilet bowl game of the week. That's why we played on Thursday. Let's face it. Good teams don't play on Thursday. Your bad teams play on Thursday, which pains me to say that because my Broncos are playing on Thursday. Yes, we won the game, which we should have won. But, I'm not getting hyped up about this game. I'm honestly not, because there was still a lot of bad that actually went into the game, as far as Brett Rippon. Driscoll didn't play. I think he may have played a little bit. But other than that, man, it was just, it was a rough fucking game. He still threw 3 interceptions. Melvin Gordon had a really good game. I bet a lot of y'all are eating y'all words on signing Melvin Gordon. Do y'all still feel that his contract was still too much?
Yeah, make sure you not barbecue us, but go ahead and fillet us in the comments on how you feel about the Melvin Gordon signing. We've been proponents of it all season. So if you're going to talk shit to us, make sure that you do that in the comment section below, because we would love to hear that. And we would absolutely love to parlay with you. So, because we didn't agree with the amount of money they paid him, but we definitely thought that was a good addition.
Absolutely. And it's paying off, and it's definitely showing. Go ahead and scroll down some more.
Yeah, so if you look at this, we're going to touch on the fact that Jerry Jeudy, I feel he hasn't had like a Justin Jefferson breakout yet, but I think that's primarily because of the fact that he hasn't really had a consistent quarterback thrown to him. And then Noah Fant is everything that we thought he would be last year. You saw what a special talent he was with the breakout in Cleveland. And anybody that didn't believe in this guy or thought he was a bust, you're out of your damn mind. You're absolutely insane. This team has a lot of potential for the future, bro. But why don't you go ahead and talk to me about what you were talking about earlier with the Elway process?
Yeah, so in Broncos country, we have a saying, in Elway we trust. I'm losing that trust slowly and surely, week by week. Not to say Elway hasn't brought us some good, because he has. Let's be honest. I'm going to pat him on the back when he does right, but when he does wrong, I'll be the first one to call it out. He's made more bad decisions on drafting and free agencies than he has on bringing in valuable people. Let's just be honest here, okay? He has a couple of draft classes where there's nobody left. There's hardly anybody left from any of his previous draft classes. To me, that's an alarming sign. He still has not brought in a valuable right tackle. How long have we been dealing with this? You talk about a quarterback carousel. How about we talk about a right tackle carousel? How about we talk about that?
Yeah, our tackles have been pretty brutal. At the same time, I think this year bought him another year. I'm not going to go in depth on whether or not I believe that he should or not. I'm just going to say that is the process. On the other side of the ball, the Jets are what they are. We knew Adam Gase was garbage. We were happy as hell when he went ahead and decided to take that job in Miami.
Yep.
That guy was nothing outside of Peyton Manning. We all knew it. We saw that when we were Broncos fans. I believe that they're pissing away Sam Darnold's his better years to develop. And next year, if Sam Darnold's if he's halfway intelligent, man, he's going to walk from this team. He's going to be like, look, there's no amount of money you can pay me to stay here because it's basically just going to end up costing me my career. And he will end up taking a gig somewhere else. Because I do feel Sam Darnold has potential. I just don't think, and especially with as young as he is, man, I don't think it's in with the Jets. I think the Jets are an absolute dumpster fire. And that organization, they really have no business even being in the NFL. They don't have any business being in the SEC.
Okay, so let me ask you this because, of course, me and you looked at multiple mock drafts, and pretty much they have the Jets picking number one, if not number one or top three. Do you think they go with another quarterback?
They have to. I don't think Darnold's going to stay.
Okay, so let's say he does, hey, this is my team. I'm the quarterback. I'm the face of the franchise. Is it, hey, do we go ahead and take Lawrence? Or do we get him some wide receiver help? Do we give him some offensive line help? Do we give him some running back help? I mean, what do they do? Don't get me wrong, a lot of ways they can go, but is taking a quarterback really the answer for the Jets?
So number one overall, knowing the Jets franchise, they absolutely will take Trevor Lawrence. Just because of the fact that whether or not they believe in Sam Darnold, this team is garbage. I mean, and there's no slight on Jets fans. I respect the hell out of Jets fans, dude. I mean, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow year in and year out, and I appreciate them for that. But their ownership and their leadership, they have no damn business running an NFL team, dude. They just don't. And because of that, I mean, for all we know, bro, they could take a defensive tackle with the number one overall pick. Like that's how much
from Miami,
right? He's an outside linebacker. They'd take a D tackle. That's just how off the wall this team is, man. So, but yeah, so that kind of sums up that game. The next one we had that was my bad. So we had the Saints and the Lions. This game was pathetic, primarily on the Lions' point because they had this game in the bag, and they managed to do what they always do, and that is botch it.
Be losers. Yeah, Matt Patricia, you probably should sell your house, brush up your resume, withdraw your kids from school, which, I mean, right now they're probably homeschooling. Yeah, man, because y'all are out of town after this. They've already said it. If y'all don't produce something this year, every last one of y'all are gone, and I don't see it getting no better, which – the Saints should have easily went in and handled the Lions, but just like you said, Mike, that actually gave the game away. I mean, 29 points. I mean, they're still good, but at the same time, at one point they were still. I mean, look at it in the first quarter, 14 points, boom.
Yeah, right.
And then
right off the
let
bat,
them come back in the second and rack up 21. That's what you fucked up.
How many games are you going to squander, bro, just due to ineptitude of coaching? And that's exactly what it comes down. Because the Saints aren't a good team. I'll come out and say it. They are not a good team.
Correct.
It's not because they don't have tenure together. They all have an extensive background. They understand the play calls in that place. The defensive scheme's been the same for years. It's just a matter of Drew Brees he's a shell of his former self. And they're not a good team. The Lions have the utmost potential in the world, and they just can't put it together, dude. So after they got rid of Caldwell, that team has completely fell flat on their face. They're terrible.
Agreed.
Chargers, Buccaneers.
Chargers and Bucks. The Bucks. They've been doing okay. They've been doing decent. typical Tom Brady fashion. What's more interesting to me is the Chargers and how Justin Herbert's been playing.
He's been playing out of his mind, dude.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wish that Drew Lock would be playing the way that Justin Herbert is, but hey, we digress. We'll get off of that subject. But being in the SEC, in the AFC, Chargers is going to be a problem for the Broncos. I really see that. Remind y'all, we have to play them twice, so get ready. It's going to be a tough one. Oh, Tommy B threw for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, respect's given, respect's due. The Buccaneers look really good. Kudos to him, man. Tom Brady seems to be, now that he's gotten the swing of things with his Bruce Arians offense, I mean, they might be unstoppable. They're brutal. Next up was the Jags and the Bangs. I don't really care about this game. I'm not going to lie to you.
I don't care about either one of them. Which was interesting. Like, Jacksonville, their very first game looked like they was about to just take the NFL over.
Right.
They was just really about to just dominate and, change the landscape of Jacksonville Jaguars. But they lived up to what Jacksonville always is a dumpster fire. So,
yeah,
sorry.
And the Bengals, I mean, props to them, dude. Joe Burrow looks like the real deal. Looks like they believe in him. The Bengals have had talent. They just haven't had someone to put the talent together. I feel like they have that right now behind the line, and it's going to start knocking on the scoreboard here pretty soon. So it started against Jacksonville. Realistically, it started against Philadelphia when they forced that tie, because Philadelphia is not a good team, but they're not a bad team. So they pushed them all the way to the boundary and then ended up pulling through against the Jaguars. I think the Bengals they're trending upward right now.
All
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Fights in the Texans. Everybody, if you haven't heard, Billy O'Stooge has been fired. You dumb fuck.
As a guy living in Texas, especially Houston, closet Texans fan, and dude, I can't tell you how happy I was getting that news today.
Man, that dude has ran that team into the ground, which if I am, what's his name? Who started quarterback?
For who? The Texans?
Texans.
Watson.
If I'm Watson, I'm happy as shit right now because under him, for joy. He would, just waste Watson's career. If you look at the trades he's made, he's basically just sold people off because I didn't like his attitude and I don't like this person. Now, not like, hey, I don't like him, but let me get along with him because he's a great player. No, I don't like him. Get him out of here. Throw him away.
Yeah.
Watson should be jumping up and down right now that, hey, I don't have to waste my career with this team anymore.
Right. And the worst part is the Vikings are a crap team. They are junk. Kirk Cousins is junk. They overpaid that guy in the offseason, and they're 1-3 against a horrible Texans team. And look, man, I'll go on the record right now to say I think Deshaun Watson is the most talented quarterback in the NFL. I truly believe that. I think he's better than Pat Mahomes. I don't think he's ever had the opportunity to be able to show that just due to the fact that Mahomes has everything around him. He has everything. He has a good defensive core. He has a good offensive line. He has great receivers. He has Travis Kelce. I can't even name the tight end off the Texans without looking it up, dude. I can't name their top wide receiver because the dude's always – one of them's always injured. So
Will Fuller?
Is he injured this week? No, he was active this week. Okay.
Yeah, he's always hurt or something.
Sorry.
But yeah. Either way it goes, as soon as they say hike, Watson is just running around for his life.
Yeah.
It's just so painful to watch. I mean, just that guy. I mean, he is the offense. He has to make everything happen either with his legs or with his arm. But now that Billy O'Stooge is gone, hey, maybe he can turn things around.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple years for him just due to the fact that they don't have any draft picks this year. But I mean, the future is bright for that team as long as they get somebody in there that's halfway competent. So excited about that. Excited about the fact that Billy O'Stooge is gone. We'll move on to the next one. Seahawks Dolphins. Let Russ cook.
All right. Well, Dolphins, it's been a rough season, but hey, everybody, don't be too down on the Dolphins. It's practically a brand new team. Seahawks, this is what you expect to see from the Seahawks. I mean, They rolled, Russell Wilson threw 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, one interception. Looks like they're getting the running game kind of decent there. But, I mean, hey, that's what you expect to see. Let's see the stats for the Dolphins.
So, Fitzmagic.
Ooh, no Fitzmagic this week.
It was all junk time yards, bro. I had this game up going while I was working on the motor. Yeah, the Seahawks completely dominated this game. It wasn't even close. Every time Seahawks scored, the Dolphins would halfway answer, and then Fitzpatrick would. You look at the stats right there, right? 10 for the Seahawks, 7-0. It's not like Fitzpatrick.
Field goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks ran the table on this game. They could have had more opportunities scoring. I'm impressed with the Dolphins, dude. I thought that they played fantastic. I really like the trends going on with the Dolphins. We talked about them being on our list when the season began of one of those that's going to be in a sleeper team because I believe in Brian Flores. I like what I saw from the second half of the season. And I think that's going to continue, dude. I think they've had a rough schedule so far. But Tua's sitting on the bench, getting better and better, watching behind Fitzpatrick, who hasn't been playing bad. They just haven't really been able to put it on the win column. I think they're going to end up pulling through.
For sure. All right, on to the next game.
Yeah.
Oh, Browns.
Yes, sir.
Oh, from me being somebody who lives in Arkansas and Dallas is the closest team, I love when they go down because I am surrounded by dipshit Cowboy fans.
Garbage, dude.
Love it. 1-3.
Idiots.
On paper, Dallas has one of the best rosters in the NFL, but never fails. It never fails. Dallas, you will not get there. Thank goodness for the Browns.
There's nothing dumber than a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'll take that to my grave, bro. The fact that they give Jerry Jones the money they do for the apparel and everything that is incorporated with that franchise, just to watch him squander it every single year and run that team into the ground, you get what you deserve. And I hope you guys enjoy it.
Sir, I will up you on that. There's nothing dumber than a Razorback fan and a Dallas Cowboys fan because, as we know, Jerry Jones has his hand in both.
Oh, that is true, huh? 2 for 1.
Yes, 2 for 1. Yes, sir. So I love the combination of a Razorback fan and a Dallas Cowboy fan because I think to myself, you are a true moron because Jerry Jones is fucking up everything. So kudos. Hey, Cleveland, hey, I know we ragged on you guys and we ragged on you and we talked so much shit, but hey.
No, we didn't talk shit. We just said that we weren't big. We didn't believe in Stefanski. And we definitely have to recant that statement at this point in time. As long as Cleveland continues along the path that they've been doing, man, it looks like Stefanski is going to end up being the answer for this team. So the GM had a great pick. I know that they just brought him in fresh this year too. So you got a new GM, new head coach. The odds were stacked against him. I'm really impressed with what they've done with this team, dude. They really seem to they've been holding people accountable. The team's been performing well. And of course, Odell Beckham destroyed me this week in fantasy. So thanks a lot, buddy.
Yes, sir. Maybe Cleveland may become the number 1 team in Ohio, behind Ohio State.
All right, Cardinals and the Panthers.
All right, Cardinals and the Panthers. Hey, man, Cardinals, they're looking okay without, with Kyler Murray and everything that's going on. Yes, they took, a little bump this week. Panthers, hey, 31 points. You have no Christian McCaffrey. I mean, hey, what else can you expect?
Right.
Still a pretty good game there.
Bridgewater's been performing. Yeah, he's been performing admirably. They're going to end up beating the Broncos. I dread that game just for the simple fact of what they've got on defense and the fact that we've got nothing. So Mike Davis had a great week. I luckily didn't have to play against him in fantasy, but he had a great week in fantasy. So that was a good step in for McCaffrey while he's recovering. And then Murray, he hasn't been having a great couple of weeks. It's not horrible as opposed to the rest of the NFL, but given the sheer talent on the team, he hasn't been playing. Both him and Locke were really hyped up coming into the season, and they've both been seemingly disappointing so far through the quarter.
Yeah, but although, Kyler Murray has been pretty good through fantasy. He's been exceeding expectations as far as the PPR league that we're in. He's been doing pretty well there. But overall, as a season, still a little bit of progression. He's in his second year. So, hey, he's getting better. He's getting better. All right, so let's roll on to the next game.
Well, hopefully he continues to do so, dude, because I like that guy and I like his future.
Yes, sir. All right,
Ravens and both of the disappointing teams from Washington. I'm just kidding. The Ravens aren't, but the other one is.
All right, so Ravens stumped a mud hole, and the football team, I'm not even football team, as I'm going to call them.
So are we calling Dwayne Haskins a bust at this point in time, or is it due to the fact that the team is in limbo and the ownership is an absolute nightmare?
No, we're going to call him a bust.
Fair enough. On to the next game.
I don't think it matters. Honestly, I don't think it matters. Name me one quarterback that's came out of Ohio State that's been anything in the NFL all way.
I'm drawing a blank, sir.
I figured you would, sir.
Is that a shot? Is that a shot? An unnecessary slight, sir.
No, not at you. Anybody that's an Ohio State fan.
All right, here we go. Speaking of the next draft bust from last year.
Ooh, this guy's a bust. All right,
we called it.
Dimes.
Hey, if you Giants fans are still watching. No, I guarantee there's no Giants fan that's following this podcast anymore either, especially after how much we talked crap to them at the beginning. For whatever reason, they harbored animosity towards us over the fact that they selected Danny Drops versus Drew Lock, Giant Cock Lock. And now it's coming to fruition, dude. So you think about it. Daniel Jones now has over twice the amount of starts that Drew Lock does and doesn't have half the amount of wins. And Drew Lock can't even stay on the field.
You got somebody that can't even stay on the field. Drew Lock missed how many games last year? He's missed how many games this year? And he still has more wins in a row than this guy.
Double the amount.
Oh, Danny Dimes, which I don't think we can call him that anymore. Hey, so the Rams.
Danny Dirtbag.
Hey, I expected more from the Rams. It is the Giants. Like I say, I expected way more out of them.
Right.
But, hey, a dub is a dub. They could have did better. I guess it's one of those games that they just we know we're going to win, so they can take them that seriously. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to. But other than that, oh, well.
Right. Dude, Josh Allen, respect.
A lot of people was calling that guy bust, and he's busting a lot of ass right now.
Yeah, he is. That guy's going ape shit.
Yes. Now, with as well as they're playing, will they make it to the Super Bowl? I don't know. they're bound to
Maybe.
make they're bound to make a pretty good, decent playoff run
Right.
as it stands right now. If we keep getting lights out, balls to the wall, what's interesting about this team is they are 100% bought in brotherhood. And that is extremely rare in any kind of sports league franchise. Though that team is bought all the way in. And when you hear the players talk, that's a true brotherhood. So
Yeah.
hey, if Buffalo Bills go to the Super Bowl, you have all of my support.
Yeah, first off, I love the team. I just want to say I really appreciate John Elway for passing up on Sean McDermott for Vance Joseph. I mean, if I was going to pick the better two coaches out of those, I definitely would have taken Vance Joseph. So, as well as the fact, if you guys find me hanging from my closet later, just know that it's because of the fact that I've got a little sticky note across my chest that says VJ was here. But as for the Bills,
and you wonder why I have gripes about John Elway. You wonder why I have gripes about John Elway because of shit like that.
We all have gripes about John Elway at this point in time, dude. I mean, without flying high with the Peyton Manning coattails, I mean, he's really struggled. But the other one is the fact that we have arguably the most ridiculous team in the NFL in our division. And that is I can't remember what city they're in at this. Oh, Vegas, Las Vegas Raiders, and their fan base that can't even afford the tickets. So as soon as their owner completely runs out of funds and the banks decide to go ahead and cash out on the amount of money he owes them, so that way he goes bankrupt, we never have to see this team again. Enjoy the fact you guys are 2-2. I'm not giving you positive feedback.
Well, they'll just move to another city and they'll become Reno Raiders.
I disagree, dude. I'm telling you that they're on the way out. That team is not going to exist much longer. So heed my words on it. Colts versus the Bears, dude. How about Philip Rivers?
Oh, Philip. 190 yards with 1 TD. And who was the quarterback for the Bears? Was it Trubisky or was it Foles?
They had Foles for this one.
Okay. So a little bit more of a fighting chance because you had Foles, but you still got took by the Colts. I mean, hey, I thought Philip Rivers, with him going to a different team with a better offensive line and not so many injuries, I mean, hey, I thought he would play good.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about the Bears. I'd be shocked if they go, I don't know, 5-11, to be honest with you. They're in a rough position right now. I don't think that they have the talent to actually break out anywhere across the board. Mm-hmm. The Colts, on the other hand, they're in a really garbage division, and Philip Rivers is playing really well. There was a play where he basically I was watching part of the game. He takes the pass, and he does more than just his normal goofball pass that he has. It's really just obscure compared to everybody else. And he sidearms his pass, which for a dude his age was impressive. When he should have taken a sack and ended up getting a gain for a first down out of it. So I think Rivers has actually been the recipe for success the Colts have needed the last handful of years since Andrew Luck retired. I'm impressed with him, man. I think that they're going to at least fare pretty well throughout the season. Luckily, we don't have to play them this year.
So do you think this is finally the year that the Bears end their relationship with Mr. Trubisky? Do you think this is finally the straw?
Oh, yeah, it's over. As soon as he got benched, it was done.
It's done? All right.
Hey, you don't bench somebody and then give him another chance, bro. It's over at that point.
All right.
So we have the Eagles versus the 49ers, and I just want to say that this was a garbage Sunday night game.
Sad but true. Me having Miles Sanders in my fantasy league, 46 yards does absolutely nothing for me. And with the 49ers, when the Shanahan, when he falls off, man, that dude, he really falls off.
Yeah, I think that they broke him during the Super Bowl last year.
Well, this is twice. This is twice he's gotten broken in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's going to need what's he going to need, about 3 years to recuperate from it?
Yeah, he's probably going to need 3 years and another team to run that offense into the fucking ground. But yeah, man.
Maybe his next team is the Jets.
Maybe. Maybe.
He's going to take the Jets for their first Super Bowl run since the 60s. I believe in him.
And lose, by the way. But yeah, Niners and Philly, like I say, again, this is an ugly game. Niners coming in the season, we expected way more. God, at least CJ Beathard still has a job. Shit.
Dude, this is the same team when we played against him like 2 years ago. Like, it's the same exact roster.
I'm trying to watch it a lot, but I mean, I guess that's an okay thing. Deebo Samuel, man, I'm surprised he's not having a better year. Brandon Ayuk, he finally showed up.
Yeah. Well,
Kittle,
that was his first game back. Ayuk's been injured, so.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't bad. He looked pretty dynamic, dude. When he what the hell is that? Whatever, jumped over that guy. What the hell is that called? Is that called hurdled that guy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he hurdled that guy for the touchdown, that was insane.
Yeah. Man, look at Kittle. Shit, man.
Yeah, great. Luckily, I got to play against him in fantasy this week, too.
Torched you, didn't he? Torched you.
I'm not winning that league. Let me put it that way. It's been rough.
And let's go on to the next game.
I hate fantasy. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't watching this game. I was just catching up on stats for it while I was doing homework. So from the excerpts, Brian Hoyer's garbage, and apparently so is Jarrett Stidham.
Yes, sir. Stidham.
Yeah, that's the future of the Patriots right there, huh? All right, well,
Mr. Friday Night Lights in Texas. Yeah, I think if Cam Newton would have played, I mean, it would have been a different outcome.
For sure.
I didn't watch the game. I followed it closely because I got Rex Burkhead in my fantasy, and he kind of disappointed me. But hey, not complaining. But the Chiefs are, they're doing pretty good, but definitely not as good as they were last year. They're, to me, in my opinion, watching them, they're not as dynamic as they were last year, but, they are getting by until you run into stiffer competition later on in the season.
I don't think there's anybody that's going to beat the Chiefs unless it's the Bills, for what it's worth.
We share an opinion on that one. You share brain on that one, sir.
As for the Patriots, they may or may not make the playoffs. I'm not sure, dude. Everything's gonna be dependent on how they perform. I know it sounds ridiculous to say and completely redundant, but it's gonna be predicated on whether or not they can rebound from this game for the rest of the season. So, because I mean that was a pretty rough loss to take to the only team that you're gonna end up having to play against in the playoffs, in the Chiefs.
Right, and also you got to remember the Patriots are in the conference with the Bills, and they still haven't gotten into their conference play hardly. So it's going to be a rough one when they go up against the Bills twice.
Right, because they're not going to win that division. I'll arrogantly come out and say that right now. The Bills are going to have taken that division, which means they're going to come in as a wild card position, and they're going to end up having to play against one of the top two teams.
Agreed.
So, and the last one we got going on, which is still active right now, Atlanta versus the Packers. We saw one head coach fired today. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a second one tomorrow.
Yes, man, Atlanta, since they went on the Super Bowl run, it has been a big nothing burger. Can we look at the Falcons? Can we scroll down and look at Hayden Hurst? And he ain't got shit. Damn you. Okay, so I got Hayden Hurst in my fantasy, but, he's not doing much today. But, shout out to Aaron Rodgers, man. This dude is playing lights out this season.
Who is this dude? Oh, I can't even pronounce that guy's name. It sounds like some sort of, Greek god. Like somebody should be on Mount Olympus. Olamide Zacchaeus. He should be in the Roman Colosseum as we're sitting there deciding what the other person's fate's going to be that he's got the foot on their throat right now.
Yeah.
Olamide Zacchaeus.
So think to Hayden Hurst, I just lost.
Oh, Aaron, 4 touchdowns, dude.
Yeah, I got cooked.
Aaron.
I'm pretty sure the guy I played against has Aaron Rodgers, and he just torched me.
The fountain of youth.
Thanks a lot.
Aaron and the fountain of youth. That guy's playing at
that fountain of youth is AKA Jordan Love. That's the fountain of youth.
The fountain of hold me accountable.
Shit, yeah.
Or maybe it was just getting rid of an ex-Cowboys coach who's a fat piece of crap. So, because
he went to one of the worst places he can possibly go to. You think he's not at a barbecue joint every day?
Oh, you're talking about just for his cholesterol. You're talking about for his cholesterol. I was about to say, talent-wise, he went to one of the best teams he possibly could have.
Man, he's at a barbecue place eating his weight every single day in ribs. You fat fuck.
Dude, if you really want to question the racist clown that is Jerry Jones, look at all of the wonderful options that were on the table this year. When you look at Robert Saleh, you look at, what's his name in Kansas City? I've been drinking. Who's that? Bieniemy, Eric Bieniemy. So you look at Bieniemy, you look at Robert Saleh. He bypassed both of those guys for that fat, lazy-eyed clown who, as soon as that guy got off of the airplane, they should have looked at him and been like, you've been out of football for a year. You didn't hit the treadmill once, and you look like that. About face and head right up those stairs again, faggot. You're on your way out of here. So get the fuck out. But instead, he ends up being the coach of, quote unquote, the best franchise in the world. And yet again, another year of disappointment for you. So on that strong note, guys, I think that's a decent segue to finish out this episode because, yeah.
All right, everybody. That was week 4 wrap-ups for the NFL. And, yeah, man, this was a good one.
It was a fantastic one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Trashing and shitting on teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, some teams deserve credit. Some teams deserve to be the Cowboys. So we like to finish on a strong note. We like to talk about the teams that are trending upwards. We like to talk about the teams that are trending for the basement, which is literally the entire NFC East. And I think that we're doing okay. If you guys disagree with us, hopefully you're Cowboys fans, in which case we would love to roast you, but make sure that you put it in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. That will be in the information section posted below this as well. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
Same as always. Hey, be looking out for more content coming up this week. You know, we'll be jumping on a little bit later on this week. We're going to talk about hockey and free agency, and also we're going to get into some mock NFL 2021 drafts.
Correct. We got a couple.
It's already draft season.
I love it, dude. I'm all in. We got a couple upcoming segments for you guys. Obviously, this is going to be specifically for the teams that we know are already going to be in the basement. Unfortunately, that's our beloved Broncos as well. But as David stressed already, we have a great upcoming season for hockey. We should be getting another one of our valued friends in here. You guys know him. You love him. His name's Kyle, and he's going to talk about the Penguins. They just dropped Jack Johnson today. He's got some updates for that. In the meantime, we will be talking about the Avs and the future that they have with the franchise and how they are a plus 800 for winning the Stanley Cup next year. They are the champs before the season starts, according to Vegas, by far. So you guys enjoy. We'll catch you in the next episode. Hope you see it. This has been another episode of
the Uncommon Man Podcast.
Excellent.
We out.
Yes.